are so happy that you've all joined us. We love having a crowd, especially when filled with our staff and their family members and their friends. I'm going to start the evening by turning it over to Steve Garcia to introduce.
I may have to turn this a little bit, right, because I want to speak to the board, but also I want to speak to everyone here. I want to welcome everyone. I'm Steve Garcia. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources and Leadership. And on behalf of the Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Michael Trombley, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to, obviously, the teachers, but thank you to the parents and the friends and the family for joining us, because it's such an important moment in someone's career to receive tenure. It is an opportunity for us to recognize you as a rite of passage, that you've earned that recognition. The work that you've done in the classroom, the work you've done outside the classroom. It is also a beginning, it's not an end. As many teachers, your colleagues who are here know, who have received tenure in the past, it's the beginning of your journey. We welcome you officially again to the Hendrick Hudson School community. We recognize the work you've done, but we're really much looking forward to what you'll be doing on behalf of our kids into the future. So it's not an end, it is a beginning, and I want to congratulate all of you. So like I said, on behalf of Mr. Trombley and the Board of Education, thank you and congratulations. So again, part of this wonderful ceremony is to recognize you individually, and we want to thank our administrators who are here tonight to speak on your behalf. So what we'll do is that I will first call Jennifer Artesano to come up to the podium and welcome Cindy and Josh to speak on their behalf.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Jen. So I have the pleasure of introducing Jennifer Adesana, who is the school counselor at BV and at Furnace Woods. And she works with all of our students. She pushes into all of the classrooms to do our second step lessons. And the kids love when she comes into their class. And here are some quotes from some of the kids. Mrs. Artesana teaches us about empathy and how to be sailor strong. She helps us feel better. We learn what to do when we feel a certain way. Lessons are fun and we get a movement break. She helps us relax our brains. And Mrs. Artesana shows us good ways to act and kind things to do. She also works with students in small groups. Sometimes there's a group of students who need a little extra help with building friendships, learning how to handle big feelings, increasing their confidence. And those students had some things to say too. They say that Mrs. Artesana is kind and helps us make friends. She teaches us games about feelings, and she's funny and nice. So obviously they love working with you, Jen, and we appreciate everything that you do in both buildings. We couldn't survive without you. We miss you at BV when you're not there, when you're at Furnace Woods, and I'm sure it's the opposite as well. So thank you for everything you do. Your tenure is well deserved, and we look forward to many years to come.
So, I know this is kind of like let's make a deal. So I'd like to bring down Lindsay Cole now.
All right, Lindsay. I told her there was some secret missions going on in the classroom, similar to Dr. Kramer. So welcome and congratulations. So here are some things from both students and the staff that you work with. The students, Ms. Cole is nice. She helps me with my bins. I love her. I like to give her hugs all the time, and she plays with me and helps me each day. Now from the staff, Lindsay is kind, caring, such a positive presence in our classroom. She takes the time to get to know each student, their interests, personalities, and what makes them light up. Because of that, they say you build strong, genuine connections with everyone. You know so much about how kids grow and learn, and always are looking out for what's best for them. And we're all lucky to have you, and it wouldn't be the same without you, so congratulations.
And next is Monique DaCosta.
All right, welcome Monique. Now I've had the pleasure to work with Monique for many years, but I'm actually representing Mr. Mackin, and I'm going to share some remarks that he prepared on your behalf. Monique is a remarkable educator whose dedication, empathy, and collaborative spirit have enriched the Hendrick Hudson community over the past 4 years. He said you have seamlessly transitioned between grades 4th and 5th. You've built strong partnerships with colleagues and ENL teachers to ensure that every student, especially our Ls, receive tailored, effective instruction. Your commitment to differentiating learning and regular one-to-one check-ins empowers our students to recognize and reach their goals. A champion of family engagement, you maintain open communication in English, Spanish, and Portuguese, providing families with frequent updates and support, making yourself available. You have a welcoming classroom, inclusive space, with flexible seating, student choice, and a strong sense of community that help every child feel safe, heard, and valued. Beyond the classroom, you've contributed your talents to school events, translation services, active in PBIS and Sunshine. You continually seek professional growth, pursuing advanced coursework and piloting new programs to better serve our students. As a first-generation college graduate and children's book author, you're an inspiring role model advocating for students and modeling lifelong learning. Driven by your own journey as an English learner, you are a tireless advocate for every child's success and well-being. You embody the heart and excellence of Hendrick Hudson, and we're proud to celebrate your well-deserved tenure. Congratulations.
And next, I'd like to call down Deborah Kramer.
Debbie, and I've had the pleasure of working with Debbie, but again, this is on behalf of Mr. Mackin, who you're currently working with. So he shared, our teaching assistants are true collaborators, building trusting relationship with students, managing small groups, and assisting with classroom management. You have been relied upon to communicate closely with teachers, monitor progress, celebrate successes, and address the challenges of students under your care. Your dedication, flexibility, and unwavering commitment enriches our school community and are deeply appreciated by staff, students, and families alike. We would like to congratulate you for achieving your tenure status and look forward to working with you in the future. Congratulations.
All right. Next, I'd like to call Jennifer Rainbow.
So I did have the pleasure of working with Jennifer for the previous 2 years at Frank G. She was there as a teaching assistant in our science and STEAM program, but I am going to speak on behalf of Mr. Mackin right now. Teaching assistants are essential partners in our classrooms, working tirelessly to support both students and teachers. Jennifer exemplifies these character traits, providing individualized attention, adapting materials to meet diverse learning needs, and helping implement instructional strategies that ensure every student has the opportunity to succeed. Jennifer's patience, empathy, and encouragement make a daily difference in students' academic and social growth. It has been a pleasure working and getting to know her this year. Congrats on your tenure.
Okay, next, let's call Lauren Siegel. I'd like to welcome Mr. Chris Moreno to speak now.
Thank you. So I've had the pleasure of working with Lauren for a few years now, and I've always been impressed by her unwavering student focus, her ability to differentiate in her classroom and create lessons that really reach all students. And I'm also going to read some remarks from Mr. Mackin as well. Mr. Mackin states, Lauren embodies dedication, collaboration, and passion for student growth. Since joining Hendrick Hudson in 2021, she has thoughtfully designed differentiated lessons that meet the diverse needs of her students and is a champion for inclusion, ensuring IEP goals are met through individualized support. Your leadership extends beyond the classroom, facilitating professional development and writing revolution, presenting to the staff and at SEPTA meetings, and creating resources that benefit colleagues district-wide. Lauren, your intrinsic drive and love for teaching have made a lasting impact on Hendrick Hudson. We are grateful for your commitment, compassion, and positive energy you bring to our students, families, and colleagues every day. And congratulations on your well-earned and well-deserved milestone.
All right, next we'd like to welcome Kimberly Migliotti.
Good. So again, congratulations. I've had the pleasure of really getting to know you this year. You have been fantastic and seamlessly stepped in as a lead replacement for your classroom and created a wonderful learning environment for the students. So thank you very much. And Mr. Mackin also prepared some comments. Ms. Vigliotti exemplifies dedication, warmth, and a strong sense of community, both as a proud Hendrick Hudson alumnus and as an educator committed to each student's success. You have served as a teaching assistant in the 1211 program, supporting diverse learners with compassion and expertise. And most recently, we've had the pleasure of working with you as your role as a special education teacher as a lead replacement. Over the past 2 years, you've served first at BV and again this year at Frank G. Lindsay. You've made a seamless adjustment to the lead role in the classroom, and you have a bright future ahead of you. Your classroom is a welcoming place where every child is encouraged to reach their highest potential. You're attentive to individual learning goals, you foster a positive and inclusive environment, and you work tirelessly to help students build both academic and life skills. Your commitment to your students, colleagues, and the broader school community is truly inspiring, and we are honored to celebrate your well-deserved tenure and grateful for the care, energy, and sailor spirit you bring to Hendrick Hudson every day. Congratulations.
Okay, now we move on to the secondary level. I'd like to invite Maria Manafra. And Mrs. Manafra will say a few words.
Good evening, everybody, and congratulations to everyone who's receiving tenure tonight and the families as well. Like Dr. Garcia said, it's a milestone and it's another step in your career, so congratulations to everybody. At this time, I have the absolute pleasure to recognize Maria Manafra and congratulate her on getting tenure. Maria is one of our math teachers who's taught in a couple of different settings: classroom teacher, math as teacher, working with our E&L Bridges program with our E&L students to work on their math skills. She's a valued member of our MTSS team. She goes above and beyond with after-school activities, connecting to the community. She's the co-advisor for the student organization. She organizes the dances, the SO trip, many student activities. She's after school almost every day. Has an amazing rapport and relationship with students. I don't have any of their quotes, but I could pretty much guarantee that they would speak to her with the highest regard. She's definitely an asset to the middle school. It's been my pleasure the last couple of years, and congratulations, Maria, on your tenure.
Okay, next I'd like to invite Matthew Smith.
Again, it's my absolute pleasure here to recognize Matt Smith on being awarded tenure this evening. I've had the pleasure to work with Matt most of my career at HENHUD, both here at the high school and at the middle school as well. He definitely has a great relationship, great rapport with kids. His classroom is intellectually stimulating. He's able to individualize and differentiate instruction from some of our special ed needs students who need some individualized instruction. He's always in the hallways. He's always saying hello to kids. He's got a great rapport with staff. He's really top notch, and I've been lucky to work with him, I think, the last 5 or 6 years at both the high school and the middle school. So congratulations, Mr. Smith, on your tenure.
move on to high school. We have a teaching assistant, Joseph Stefano. He's not here tonight, but he also received tenure in those schools. So next I'd like to invite Matthew Cotner.
It is my absolute pleasure to congratulate Mr. Codner. The high school is a better place because of Mr. Codner. His involvement in our English department, our AIS program, as well as our after-school clubs. Without him, I think we would have lost some of our journalism program and our Stars and Stripes Club. We brought life into those programs and students are excited to be there, so thank you for your work with that. It is my pleasure to congratulate you, and I look forward to working with you for many, many years.
Okay, and our final teacher, I'd like to call Michaela Rubio.
I'm thrilled that I get to talk about Michaela, who also works at Blue Mountain as a speech pathologist. But one of the most impactful moments of doing an observation of Michaela was when I walked into another teacher's classroom to, observe her as she pushed into a class, and I couldn't tell whose class it was. It was seamless. I didn't know who did the planning, who was doing what role. It was incredible to see how she collaborated with that other educator to create such a meaningful learning experience for some of our most struggling students. So thank you for the work you do. It is my pleasure to congratulate you, and I look forward to watching you grow and shine here.
So we have two more individuals that I will speak on behalf of for Mr. Trombley. Two administrators who received tenure. The first individual, I'd like to call out Mr. Chris Moreno. Don't be embarrassed. So this evening, we proudly recognize Mr. Moreno for his outstanding tenure as Hendrick Hudson's Assistant Director for PPS. Chris has consistently demonstrated a student-centered approach, impeccable integrity, and a commitment to being a consummate professional in his support of his staff. His leadership has strengthened our services to students and families, ensuring that every decision is made with care, compassion, and the highest ethical standards. We're deeply grateful for his dedication and positive, lasting impact he has had on the district. And finally, I'd like to call up Ms. Benita Joy. Again, this evening, we proudly recognize Benita Joy for her outstanding tenure as Hendrick Hudson's Executive Director for Innovation and Technology. Throughout her time with us, Benita has exemplified dedication, professionalism, and a deep expertise in instructional technology. She has been unwavering in her commitment to supporting our students, staff, and the larger community, always focusing on how technology can positively impact the teaching and learning environment. Her leadership has strengthened our district's ability to thoughtfully and effectively integrate technology in ways that truly enhance educational experiences. We're deeply grateful for her service and the lasting contribution she has made to Hendrick Hudson. That concludes our experience. I know we want to take pictures, but again, I want to thank just a couple of people. Of course, first of all of our administrators for joining us this evening. Your leadership has definitely helped guide our teachers, and we are forever grateful for your contribution to that. Also, I'd like to thank Carmen for helping us with Corsages and bringing us together and helping me along the past few weeks. Thank you. And also, I'd like to thank my assistant, Fran Dodaro. She's responsible for really organizing this, the nice booklet, your corsages and your pins. Really, it's Fran that puts it together, so I just want to recognize Fran for all of our hard work. Again, I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. I know that we want to take a picture with the whole group, so let's take a few minutes if we can have that happen. I want to thank you again for joining us, and I know that afterwards you'd like to probably go home and do your lesson plans. Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Hendrick Hudson board meeting. Today is May 7th, 2025. We are going to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. We are just wrapping up our tenure reception to our tenure recipients. Congratulations to them. And we're going to pause here for a few minutes and have our public hearing on the 25-26 budget. At this time, this is the time period where anyone could come to the meeting and voice their last-minute thoughts and feelings on the budget for conversation. Carmen, is there anyone here to ask any questions?
No.
Okay, so we'll wait. This was scheduled for 7:30, correct?
So I'm just updating everybody as far as the state aid goes, because I know that was an item that was still hanging out after we adopted the budget. And actually, the governor, there's only a general agreement, and they haven't come to a final budget yet at the state level. I understand there's 9 budget bills that are still unresolved, and they expect things to be resolved in the next 2 weeks. So more to come, and we should know before the vote, but I don't know, how much would change between now and then. They haven't really indicated what is changing, if anything. I feel like the impression is that if it was going to be anything major or impactful to schools, they would have, indicated that. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Does anyone have any questions while we're waiting about the?
7:35.
Yeah, we waited, yeah. Okay. So we're gonna move on to the approval of our agenda for the evening. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
All in favor? This is the time where we hear from audience comments on non-agenda items.
There is none.
Thank you. We move on to the consent agenda. Does anyone have anything they'd like to pull from the consent agenda? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
All in favor? Okay, now it moves us to audience comments on, nope, now we're at the, donation. Hold on. That's incorrect, sorry. All right, tonight we have a donation, a very generous donation of $2,325 for the Barbara Katzenstein Scholarship Fund. This is to the Office of Special Education. It has received this donation to be utilized to pay for partial summer camp funding for students with handicapping conditions. This is very generous. Thank you very much.
That's nice.
Do I have a motion to
approve the donation. Second.
All in favor? Now it's the hearing of the public on agenda items.
There is nothing. Nobody's signed up.
Okay. And then we had a hold for presentation and discussion, which I think we're okay. We're not
having
It was, and then superintendent's update.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. So just some notes for our community. Let me start by saying, if you haven't noticed, it's Teacher Appreciation Week, and we want to say a loud thank you to all of the fabulous teachers in this district that give their all every day. I know that our children are excited to come to school every day and learn from them, and we certainly appreciate working with them and moving the district forward. It was also Nurses Appreciation Day, I believe, yesterday. So thank you to the nurses in our schools. Again, you are underappreciated for the things that you do. We know how much the kids feel comforted when they come to you in times of trouble, skinned knees, ice packs. So we appreciate your kindness and your consideration as you comfort them. A note to the community, Saturday, May 10th is the Filibus Food Drive at the high school main entrance from 10 to 12. A very worthy cause. Please do contribute and show up if you can. Congratulations to our high school robotics team. I believe right now, I know that this is happening this week, so I'm not really sure where they're at, but they are competing in the VEX Robotics World Championship, and we look forward to updates on how they've done this week in the competitions. Congratulations to Blue Mountain Middle School on being named a PLTW Distinguished Gateway School. Gateway is the program that leads into the PLTW work at the high school. It is concert season. I could go on for days about all of the many wonderful performances that are going on across the district, and I encourage you and invite you to look at the district calendar and please make sure you can attend some of those wonderful performances. May 14th is am I correct? May 14th is still the Board of Ed candidate at the Hendrick Hudson Free Library. What time is that?
7 to 9.
7 to 9, thank you. And lastly, to all of my colleagues, a very happy Mother's Day. We are looking forward to good weather, I believe. So please enjoy, take the accolades that you so richly deserve, and lots of gifts. So that's the end of the superintendent's report. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Dr. Garcia, for any updates from HR.
Sorry, I'm just chewing on some fruit. No, obviously the 10-year event was pretty much my update, but just want to let the community know that we are moving along with our search for the next director of athletics, and also are looking for the exploration of our next middle school principal, and also that we posted for high school principal. So we are in good shape right now. We are on target with our dates and our time frame. I just want to thank also all the members of the faculty, staff, and also parents who contributed to surveys as we look for these positions, especially recently the middle school principal, but also in their focus groups. So thank you for those, for that feedback. And based on it, we're developing a profile for what we want to see in our next middle school principal. Again, it's a similar formula that we used for our previous positions. And we'll be doing the same approach for the high school positions. I actually met with a student high school leadership group a couple weeks ago, and they were very insightful, and I appreciate their feedback in terms of what they're looking for the next high school principal.
Okay. I know, Jill, you already had a chance to speak. Did you want to add anything?
Just, I don't think we can remind people enough that the budget vote is Tuesday, May 20th at our FGL Elementary School between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. Budget documents are available on our website, including the line-by-line budget. Questions can be sent to myself or the superintendent. Leave a message. We can call you back. We can take calls during the day or emails. The final budget book has been prepared, if anybody is interested in looking at that. We've added some documentation to that to update it and have further information than we had on March 15th. And the newsletter, the budget newsletter, is going out this week, so that should be arriving in homes 5 or 6 days prior to the budget vote. The business office is going to be having its internal audit risk assessment May 19th and 20th. And we've started to interview for treasurer replacement. So business office is busy as usual.
Okay, thank you. Chris, you want to fill us in on any updates for PPS?
Sure. We are winding down our CSE annual review season, so that is coming to an end, and I'm sure all the chairs and teachers will be thrilled about that. In addition to that, we are in the final or late stages of our ESY program planning. That'll take place from July 7th to August 15th, serving our ABC and Sailor population at Frank G. and Hendrick Hudson High School over the summer. and Dr. Kleiman asked me to share that the BOCES Technology Center applications are starting to come in from BOCES. They're hopeful to have everything by May 31st to determine whether or not students have been accepted to that program. And finally, I just want to continue to highlight our May 21st SEPTA meeting, looking to highlight and showcase some of the, or many of the mental health professionals in our district and all the supports that we have to offer to families, so encouraging all parents and families to come out for that and to see all the supports we have in place here at Hendrick Hudson and all the wonderful staff.
Thank you. Benita, technology?
Good evening, everyone. Sometimes when I make these updates, I feel like nobody understands what I'm talking about. So I'm glad to repeat anything or be more human-friendly as possible. But the first thing is MFA. But by now, you all should know what MFA is, multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication. After very long conversations in the district, we finally, last week, I sent out an email to the staff saying we're enforcing multi-factor authentication for all staff as of June 30th. I was at the middle school faculty meeting this week, and Nikki Stabell, our technology facilitator, was at BV. We're hoping to get to high school and also FGL on the June faculty meeting. We started telling staff to ease them up from, like, they're afraid about connecting to the Wi-Fi, like we're looking, that type of thing. So we had I actually had a very good conversation with the middle school. There were a lot of questions, but I think we're in a good place. They feel like they can move forward with doing the MFA. Of course, they don't like it, but I think we're in a better place now. So we're hoping to have that tied down by June 30th. I'm sure you saw the email that I sent out at 6 o'clock today about the new TikTok challenge. Funny enough, this weekend, my kids, who are also teenagers, were talking about it at home, and I'm thinking like, they're not gonna do that, come on. Like, then Monday morning or Tuesday, I started to get emails from our 910, which is the New York Technology Educators Group. Wappinger School District was let out at 8 o'clock in the morning because their Chromebook was on fire. Artsley had 5, there's a lot of districts around the area that were reporting in the group, like, kids who are doing this. So we sent out that email. If you're listening at home, please talk to your kids about it. It is not taken lightly. I actually heard late in the day today that there's a district that's actually filing criminal charges against the students because they had a lot of property damage. So please talk to the students. What they're trying to do is they're taking lead from the pencil and trying to put it into the USB-C port and trying to spark, and it catches on fire. So please talk to your children at home not to do it. The other thing is, Jill mentioned about the risk assessment. So IT is going through a risk assessment with our internal auditor. There's 18 controls, about 180 questions that we're going through. Our auditor's nice enough to take a slow pace on this. So I'm only on control 4. In 2 weeks, I have another 2 controls, so he's taking 2 controls at a time. Each control is about 10 to 12 questions, depends on how deep the area you're going to. So it's a lot of documentation, a lot of questions. But you probably talked about me saying during the budget time, like one of my initiative is to get NIST, which is the National Institute for Standards and Technology. So having that NIST framework basically says like you have things in order, everything is checked. So these controls and questions that they're going through is the NIST framework. So we're on that. And the last thing is, as you may have heard me say, like we are onboarding on onboarding, managed IT through BOCES. So there's been a lot of weekly calls and check-ins on that process. We're hoping to have be onboarded with the support through BOCES as of July 31st. We have EduTech staff actually phasing out on June 30th for tech support. We'll still have a few hours of remote support through EduTech for data, because we do need that. But everything else should be in order. We've been taking, same thing, going through each one of our systems and going line by line, matching up to their standards and our standards, making sure that we're in agreement with how we want the computer to devices to look and feel like, our user experience, things like that. So we're also knee deep in that as well. So that's my update.
Okay, I'll circle back and give a curriculum update. We are in the throes of testing season at every single level. So we are uber focused on getting through this particular period. We just had APs at the high school. We should be getting to the end of the 3 through 8 window, I think, in a week or so. NYSIS SLED as well will wind down by June 1st. So that's really the bulk of our focus right at this moment, and then we shift immediately, if not sooner, into completely looking at 25-26. And what are we doing with program, with placement? I will give a public service announcement again. I feel like I'm the registration queen. If you are out there listening and you have a kindergarten student or a UPK student who will be 4 by December 1st, please get them registered, because we are rolling into screening period where your child will come in for some brief assessments. You'll have an opportunity to meet with the program directors and the principals and understand what those 2 programs will be all about, visit the school. So we are anxious to have you register so you can take advantage of those opportunities. We have an early release day coming up on May 19th. And in that afternoon, we do a lot of our placement and transition work in the district. So elementary schools will be looking at class placement for next year. We will have opportunities for 5 and 6, and then 8 and 9 to speak to each other, especially as it relates to service providers, AIS folks. So we are rolling right into that particular season. Many of you know that I think at our last board meeting, we appointed Lauren, who will be replacing me as the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction and Assessment. Lauren has begun transition with my position, so we are inviting her to all of our meetings if she can make it. We also understand she's trying to run the high school through a very busy time of year as well, but we want her to be fully informed and very comfortable with all of the groups that she will be meeting with before we completely break that connection. So that's where curriculum is right now. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you. Great updates. Thank you, everybody. This moves us on to our next is the Westchester Putnam School Board Association Administrative Budget and Board Election. So we will be voting on this. I'm just trying to look at the, there's dues. Where's the full budget for me to read? That, okay. So we need to, we vote individually, Carmen, or as a board?
You do it as a board.
Okay. So we are voting on the Westchester Putnam School Board Association annual meeting ballot. Cast our district's vote on the West Putt nominating committee for the 25-26 slate of officers, directors, and budget ratification. So the first is ratification of the 25-26 WPSBA budget. Do I have a motion to put this forward? Please. Motion. Second? All in favor? And the second is the slate of officers for the members of the board of directors, as stated in the board docs. Do I have a motion to approve the slate of directors?
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Okay, so we should be good there. We have our board communications discussion next. So we have been talking a lot this year about our communication with the community how we reach them. And, you know, we had the thought exchange, which showed us that the families seem to be overall, I think we found that seem to be overall happy with Parent Square. We talked about some solutions. They also want more specific text messages and emails. We had sent a newsletter out earlier in the year. We sent a couple postcards this year. What I thought we would do tonight is discuss where we think we want to go with that. If we think we've been okay, do we want to do it? We're going to have the soundings is going to come out, the budget book that's going to have a letter from me that has details about the budget. So how else do we want to communicate with the community? Does anyone have any thoughts or ideas?
I just have a couple of thoughts that when I saw this topic coming up. I know we talked about the newsletter, which you just mentioned, and we did one. So I was just thinking for next year, maybe we take a look, or maybe over the summer, we take a look at the calendar and like schedule because we were gonna do it quarterly, and like figure out in advance like what the deadlines are, so we can sort of more easily stick to those guideposts as timing for just those 4 main newsletters. And then I did a bit of a deeper dive into the information that we're going to have when we have the new upgraded Diligent Community.
We're going to talk about that separately.
Yeah. But this is in response to the text.
Okay.
I know we said everyone wants emails, which we have already. And maybe it's in the emails, simplified messaging, whatever that means. But it looks like from the best assets that Diligent Community has to offer is an ability to do a texting function to people that you can opt in for. So I think that automatically that's going to become something that when we use that next year, that it's going to be much easier to do. You can also opt in to certain texts directly, so you can get reminders for meetings. And so I think organically, by upgrading to this new program, which is probably part of the point of the whole thing, it's going to get a little bit more transparent, a little bit easier for people to understand the language that's spoken in the meeting. They do simplified summaries of each of the board meetings.
We're going to watch a video.
Yeah.
We're not getting out there.
That link is not working, just so you know. The link takes you to the website. Because I just tried to click to see what that was, because one of the things I was looking at was whether or not they have videos for the community to get. I know they have all the ones for internal, but I didn't know if they have like a how-to video for people to, in the community, to look at what it has to offer. And if that's it, then great. I just didn't know where.
I'm sure they have a lot of things we can request them. I'm looking at their
website?
Their website right now. Greg, do you have access to that link?
I'll send it the link.
Okay, we don't need it yet. I want to go back to just talking about a communications plan.
Yeah.
So we probably need to come up with a communications plan at some point, and then who's in charge? Like who's the go-to person on the board? I mean, I may not be sitting here next year. You need to have a go-to person that's going to take ownership a little bit, make sure that they can. Like what would we put in our newsletter? What's the board working on?
Yeah. I'm happy to be the lead on that if that's helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need a lead on that, and then,
we can figure out a good structure for what we think is needed, and maybe the quarterly newsletters are too much because there's the budget newsletter and there's so many other things. I think our goal is not to send people too many things.
I think it's like what we did.
It's a fine line.
From how I see it, and after 3 years of doing this, I think what we sent out, which was our goals, was a really good way to set up.
Yeah.
To set up the year, because this is what the goals are, this is what we're working on, this is what we established, and I thought that was a really great, that was it was really purposeful, right? So, and meaningful at the time. Since then, I mean, I think we're all working so much all the time.
Yeah.
and the board meetings are showing our work so clearly So maybe we just have to come up with a way to summarize.
Yeah, and I also think, I'm gonna be boring people to tears with the new Diligent, but it also has the ability to like generate comms like that, like newsletters and, you know, easier messaging. So I feel like once we get more used to like all the things it has to offer, we can harness it like as simply as possible.
So and I just want to the board docs. So the board docs, just so everyone's clear, it's not a communication tool necessarily for the community. It's really a communication tool for the board to do our work and then share out. So it makes it more transparent, right? It's more transparent for the community because it's more clear to use, it's more easy, the messaging is more clear, and it truncates things, and policy is like very clean. But it really is it's going to be an improved tool for us to use.
Yeah, I think on both sides of it, because I often hear people saying like, I don't know where to find this, and the board often says it's on board docs, it's on board docs. So if that is going to be someplace that we send community members, it should ideally be a place that we can all navigate.
Yeah, I mean, we have a hard time,
Exactly.
navigating this. This will improve it.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a lot. Carmen's going to work to roll this out and make sure that it's all clean and good. They have a pretty good timeline, which we have. I think, did we put that online, Carmen?
Yeah,
the timeline.
Yeah.
I'm hoping by October, we'll be
Yeah.
up and running. Yeah, I'm thinking end of September.
And then I think they keep board docs on for like a month or two, and then they make it read only, so you can't keep using it, but you can refer to it. So.
I have a question. You're talking about the newsletter, so why don't we just, or you might have just said this, why don't we just do one at the beginning of the year and one at the end of the year, right? Like a intro
There's so much.
and a
I think we
conclusion.
found that there's so much communication.
Yeah, but if you're like
Not the budget.
summarizing, just like, it doesn't have to be like a multi-page newsletter, it could just be something like summarizing how we think we did this year,
Mm-hmm.
based on what we said we were gonna do earlier in the year. You know, just an intro
So
and a
send one
conclusion.
in June, a wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think
you
it's
could like introduce in there like who's coming on the board for next year, and people leaving can put a farewell or something, like you could make it like like it's personal.
I think those are a given, like the beginning and the end. I think the rest of it is
Yeah,
just
but I don't-
looking at
maybe
the
it's-
calendar and figuring out.
Or maybe it's not necessary in between because everyone's watching and it kind of knows what's going on.
It's just so much of it ends up being budget communications, and we're doing so much budget communication.
Yeah.
So they won't know what's happening.
Do you think there should be one in the middle?
There should be in the middle, just so you give.
And maybe it's not a newsletter, maybe it's
Yeah.
something that's like, maybe it's videos that we did,
Yeah.
like, it could be a lot of different things that,
Or like mid-year, then like
Yeah.
one at the beginning, one in the
Middle
middle.
and one at the end.
Yeah, maybe like after winter break or
enjoy
before
this,
winter break or something.
enjoy this long newsletter as you sit in front of your fire for Christmas break.
Maybe it's
Something to consider when you're talking about the newsletter is that it is pretty costly. I just want to say that.
Printed, yeah, so we're
Yeah.
gonna,
Yeah, we're
So,
not
I
necessarily-
don't want to get into all that like right now because we really didn't talk about it, but, okay, so electronically.
We're gonna do
talking
electronic.
about-
I think we're talking about electronic, except for the budget, right?
it seems like, we're not reaching our entire community, which is part of our issue. I think we as a board would just love to reach more people. I think the postcards do that, but they are costly. Maybe annually, the board should send out a postcard, the smaller size, a 3x5 or a 4x6 postcard that just invites the community to just sign up for our newsletters.
Yep.
And that gives them that opportunity. I don't think that's a huge investment. I know we didn't necessarily budget for it, but that's
No.
that's
The
something way.
newsletter is a totally different,
Yeah, I'm talking about just a postcard inviting them to join our online community newsletter.
Yeah, because I know you can do that through Parent Square. I feel like if we supplement it with people that aren't on Parent Square, like the seniors and the people that don't have kids in the district, it's going to be a lot less things to put in the mail.
We have to get them to join.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that we mail something only to that.
We can't do that.
But why can't we do like the senior centers, like find a contact that's there and say, hey, as a board, we'd like to start sharing our week, our
Right,
month,
like we
whatever
drop off
it is, our updates with you,
Bunch of-
and then they can share it out to their to everyone that's there in their senior centers. I mean, that makes,
Printed version,
yeah.
or you could print it off
Or
just
just
for
email
those
it. That's what I have
places.
emailed
Yeah,
down
or
to
just
it.
bring
When
those
Mike
cards there.
went to this business,
Yeah, Mike
he
was
brought
there.
the postcard with the URL,
Mhm.
and he explained how they can sign up, and he did that when he met with them.
It
Yeah,
did
they were-
seem
a
like we
couple
got
times.
some people that
We
did
did.
that, yeah, that signed up.
Yeah, I just think if there's a way to get them, more of them onto our community update emails, would be at least a start,
Yeah.
and,
There's,
you know,
there's also a join list on our community, so if you, whatever you send out, if you wanna.
that's what I'm talking about. We want them to join.
Yeah, so they'll automatically be included in the Parent Square emails.
Okay.
Not parents, it's still parents.
Mhm.
I mean,
Just
parents
saying
square,
appropriate.
it just seems inherently like geared towards parents.
It really is. We just didn't want two separate systems
I-
for communication,
yeah,
so
like PTA, we always
we created
had
the
two
join
separate.
list to like
Yeah.
bring everybody in. Because we had constant contact through both these two.
Exactly.
Right, so.
And they can opt out for like the information they want, like they don't need school updates, they
Right.
just want, they could just opt in for just like board updates.
So
right?
we have like, a lot of people just wants to get the, like, after school closings and stuff like that,
Mhm.
like the preschools and stuff. We do have a separate sign up for this. So if you go to the community join list, you can check off saying like, yes, I want all communication, or you want closings, or you want just the SEPTA emails or PTA emails, so there's options for doing that.
Yeah, we should just do a drop down for like board updates, so that if they wanna just sign up for that, and they're not just getting stuff from like the schools or closings or whatever, and that's all they wanna see, then.
But I think we want them to see our weekly newsletters.
I think that's what you're saying.
Well, she's saying they could,
That's
they
not the
could,
board, that's not us. You're not talking
Oh, you're
about
talking at the district?
Mike's updates, and then Josh's updates, right, the district updates every Friday.
right, but I think she's saying add a tab for schools.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah,
add a tab.
just for that, yeah,
They could get that
yeah.
as well.
Because I think that's the reason why a lot of them won't give you their email address, right? They just don't want all this mail coming from the school through their email, just ping, 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 and then they open it up and there's 100 new things from the school, and they're like, I'm not reading all this. So that way,
Yeah.
if you filter it out and give them just the things they want to look at, then they might be more inclined to giving us their email address.
Like, maybe to your point about a checkbox or a drop down, maybe like school operations / parent-student information, and then general district information.
Create
Um,
drop downs?
Just those two sort of.
It's really a checkbox, like,
Yeah, you can
right
create
now
them
we
now.
have, yeah, right now we have Hendrick Hudson Alumni Organization is a checkbox. Join Hendrick Hudson Community, and then school delays, early dismissal, and closure notifications. Those are the three that we have as a drop down or checkbox. So they don't have to do all three, they can just check whatever they want.
Again, I think that the diligent's gonna have like opt-in things on it as well, so we should see first what it will have, because that may be what people can opt in for board-only information. I know it's another thing, like it would be good to keep it
Like member help.
all, yeah, all in one place, like you said.
We have that too.
There's no one.
Which is, well, I know, but you're getting, it's called
Give
something
backs.
else. It's called Give
Give
Backs
backs.
now. Yes, that's the PTA thing, and then they send you text messages when there's.
But
meetings.
Parent Square is definitely the wave. I feel like more districts are now moving to that platform. We just were kind of the first ones.
We were early adopters.
We were early. Thanks, Vanitha. But a lot of districts are now moving to that platform.
Are we gonna do the thought exchange every year, or?
We can do the thought exchange anytime. We just need to have a prompt that we think is worthy. I mean, it really, Mike will probably use it more than we would, but if next year, if there's something next year that we think that is thought exchange worthy, not that I may not be here, I'm taking notes for everybody else for next year. Thought exchange, we can send one out if we think there's some, the board thinks something is important to share or get feedback. Okay. I think I captured everything. I just wanted, and to Corey's point, I wanted to demo, give everyone an idea of the board and, you know, even in the community, an idea of what this looks like. So are you going to show a short video?
Communities are complex networks of people, relationships, and institutions, and elected boards are at the center of it all. Governance management for education and local government is no small task. You want to streamline the governance process, build trust through transparency, and positively impact your community. But administrative inefficiencies, increasing public scrutiny, and heightened security concerns are slowing you down. Enter Diligent Community. Brought to you by the trusted team behind Board Docs, it's the next generation governance solution tailored for public and elected boards. Diligent Community empowers you to create and manage your agenda effortlessly. Picture this: a simple drag and drop agenda builder that adapts to your unique needs. Create a customized workflow to allow submission of agenda items from across your organization, and easily assign and update designated or alternate approvers to keep items flowing. You can preview both public and private agendas before publishing, and even schedule the agenda release for a specific date to comply with your organization's open meetings requirements. Let's face it, ensuring that public meetings run smoothly is a key part of your responsibility. With Diligent Community, you can engage participants and execute your meetings more efficiently. Project the agenda and attachments onto the screen to follow along, while easily capturing meeting minutes and keeping detailed records of every motion and vote, whether digital or manual. The governance of public organizations is a 24/7 job. Access Diligent Community on any device, ensuring seamless connectivity wherever you are. Receive text or email notifications upon agenda release for a quick and easy way to stay informed. Access documents directly on your mobile device, or print full agenda packets with attachments in a single step. Board members can review and annotate agendas and supporting documents privately with confidence, using purpose-built tools backed by industry-leading security. Keep your community informed with a single source for meeting agendas, live stream broadcasts, minutes, and policies. Members of the public can experience the added benefits of powerful search tools to easily find information, request to speak during public comment sections, and subscribe to meeting notifications so they never miss a beat. The integrated calendar enables positive public engagement for an inclusive experience that reflects your commitment to building trust and transparency, all while maintaining ADA accessibility standards for all of your public and elected boards' published information. As public needs shift, Diligent Community is here with enhanced capabilities that go beyond the essentials. These add-on features are a powerful set of tools for public and elected boards, providing a tailored fit for your organization's advanced needs. From creation to approval, Policy Publisher effortlessly guides policies through each stage of your organization's policy lifecycle. Draft, review, and adopt policies, and publish to your online handbook with integrated Microsoft Office tools for seamless staff collaboration. Simplify your policy records and public requests. Policy Publisher for Diligent Community maintains an auditable version history and timeline for each policy. Committee Manager allows for seamless control and enhanced collaboration. Effortlessly manage multiple governing bodies and leverage the same powerful tools for distinct groups, easily maintaining permissions and access for committee members. But that's not all. Empower your community by enabling them to subscribe to notifications for meetings or specific committees and working groups. Livestream Manager lets you engage your community with the seamless integration of live stream video, where timestamps and live closed captioning improve transparency and accessibility. Embed video alongside agendas and meetings, enabling the public to stay in the loop no matter where they are or what device they're on. The call for transparency, efficiency, and accountability is louder than ever. With over 2 decades of knowledge and innovation for public and elected boards, Diligent Community is the next generation governance solution, designed to modernize the experience for your staff, board members, and the public. Are you ready to experience the future of governance for education and local government? Diligent Community by Diligent, the leading governance, risk, and compliance SaaS platform, trusted by over 750,000 board members worldwide.
this has a lot of, Corey, what you've been asking for, with like being able to get community involved, because then they can sign up for what they
Yeah.
want, right? Then they could sign up for, do they want to know when our meetings are? Do they want to watch? Do they want to do all that? So I kind of feel like this has a lot
I
of
think
what.
this is more like internal focused on like what, you know, Carmen would be interested in, what we would be. I'd be interested to find out from them if there's a community facing, you know, instructional video or whatnot.
No, but just even saying for like the capabilities of the program itself, that
Right.
like people can
Just to
then
opt
buy
into-
in and opt into
Exactly.
what it is that they want, because
Exactly.
we've
Yeah.
been,
And it's mobile friendly,
Yes,
which is,
yeah.
I think, for many people, like the frustrating part of board docs is, including me, it's like really hard to work on the phone.
yeah, you just get used to it.
You do.
You
but
do. I mean,
you
because we
shouldn't
have to though.
It's
We
like
kind of have to
just
though.
scroll
So
down.
bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this more money than board docs?
So this is the interesting thing. We are gonna be forced to move, and if I'm saying anything wrong, Carmen, correct me. We're gonna be forced to move into this eventually, because they're gonna phase out the board docs that we currently have. This is actually, we were looking at moving into like the more extended version of this board docs, but it was actually more money per year than moving to this version. If that makes sense. So yes, it is more money, but eventually we're gonna have no other option.
Can I ask for clarity on that? This, the enhanced version of the board docs we use
Currently.
is more money
You
than
understand.
the increased, the cost to use this diligent
because-
version, which will have equal
For now,
compatibility.
yes,
Okay, thank
because
you.
they're
But they're trying to
trying.
make you wanna switch.
Yeah, we're gonna be, we are going to be early adopters on this as well. Like, we're one of the first to do this, but I think it's.
So, is it a yearly subscription?
Yes.
So we're gonna get a lock-in rate for a year? I just don't.
I'm not sure if would we
Like have
You
it
can only do
jump
year
up
to
every
year.
year.
It's year to year.
Year to year. As a school, you can only
It's
do
a
year
school
to year.
district, you can
And
only do
this is
yearly
against
on
the
any
right.
subscriptions. We
Okay.
can do we're not allowed to do multi-year.
Right.
I mean,
We did try to negotiate because we were opting early, but they weren't going.
Do we know school districts who have opted before us, if they continue to get that rate, how much it went up?
There's a list of like sample sites of different schools that have used it, so we could reach out and ask how they.
I mean, we have to do it, I'm not saying that, I'm just wondering, I don't want to be hit.
No, it's good research to do.
We had this, we can share. I think we have this information. I feel like we have this information. I will look at, I think we got it in our demo.
We're getting it
Yeah,
posted.
it's in that email
document,
that
so-
Carmen forwarded.
Yeah.
It's BOCES
There were two
email, Carmen, is that what you
Yes.
said? Thank you.
The way it was explained to us when we did the demo was that basically, they're not gonna be supporting regular board docs anymore. So, let's be honest, in reality, this is like the least, this is like the light version. And it's, especially with the amount of policy that we have done now in the last 2 years, like Carmen, I'm sure Carmen wishes she had. Yeah, it's been a lot, because the formatting is off, and this is gonna make it so much easier for workflow, communication, transparency, and then actually just for the board, I think, to work. I think it'll be better. But I think you're right, we'll look at the,
I mean, I know you have to do it either way, but.
yeah, we're just getting, we're getting on it earlier.
So it's ADA compliant, was it also translation?
No, that's
Oh.
one of the things I did ask, and they have not moved that direction as of yet, and don't know when they're gonna do it.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't have an answer, right, on that?
No.
But it can do a summary though, right? Like, didn't it say it can do summaries of the meeting?
I know the Word document, you have the translation built into the Word document, but everything else that they showed was within the site. So I don't know if it's, I know the policy corner, we created that because of the ADA compliant translation, so that's why I was asking.
I wonder if that would be something that would be an add-on though, eventually down the line, like if this is new, they might just be trying to get it out and then make modifications as they go. I would assume that would be the most profitable way for them to stay.
They always say
chosen.
Google, you can use the Google translates, but it doesn't work the majority of times, so it's not a reliable way to translate.
And then do we know if the streaming that it does, if we would move our platform off of YouTube into this, have we talked about that at all?
We'll have to talk to Greg.
Yeah, how
It's
that would
probably
logistically work?
Embedding something, it's probably just embedding into Word docs.
Yeah, because if we're gonna, it would be nice to have it just all streamlined. Okay, does anyone have any other questions? I think we have a pretty good plan.
Reach out to you about communications stuff and the plan for next year.
All right. Okay, what's next on our agenda, guys? Policy.
Favorite time.
Yes. There might be a question when we have on one of these. A second one. You may be. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the first policy is the first reading revision policy 4321.05, confidentiality and access to individualized education programs, individualized education service programs, and service plans. The Board of Education.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second. All in favor?
This was one that was required and we just had to make some edits to it, and this came to us from the PPS department with the changes. Again, certain things were just to make it inclusive language and just how to go about.
Yeah, for student, this is the student records. One, Chris. One about student records where we just changed the language and the acronyms and what we call them, and then how parents access it. So we'll bring this one back. The next meeting, anyone have any questions on this one? Okay. The next one is first reading policy 4321.10, programs and services for parentally placed non-public school students with disabilities. The Board of Education recognizes.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second. All in favor?
Is this new? Because I don't see any red.
This one is new, right, Carmen? Lauren, did you have a question on this? You had asked me something to clarify.
Yeah, I just wanted to understand it a little bit.
The why?
Yeah, like, did it mean, I guess I was asking, does it mean kids that go to private school can get services through the public school still? Is that what this means? Yeah.
Yes.
I just wasn't sure what parentally
Because it's a confusing title.
non-public school students meant, but.
Like who fits in the category of
So
a non-public
it's
school student with
Not,
disability?
so sometimes we have students that we send out to other public schools.
Mhm.
This is if they're enrolled, if the parents choose to enroll the child into a non-public
Mhm.
school, we're saying that they're still eligible
Mhm.
for services.
They have to come here, or,
There's different ways.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It could be somewhere else,
It
too.
depends on the circumstances, but yeah, essentially it entitles the students to
Mhm.
related services or other services that they would receive in a public school to a certain extent. So that may be a parochial school or, other private schools.
And this again came to us from the PPS department, so thank you for.
Oh, and another
listening.
question, so if you have a child in private school who you feel has something that they want to talk to you about, they can just still reach out and set up like an evaluation still, or?
Yeah, they would, if it's a student residing in our, this is their home district, they would reach out to us for an initial evaluation. There's also students who may have either a 504 or be classified who are in parentally placed in non-public schools, and we can arrange services for them.
All right, thank you. Okay. I think we're good.
Okay, so if my colleagues would like to adjourn the evening, you are welcome to leave.
Thank you and congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Chris. Congratulations, Benita.
Yes.
Congratulations. Okay, that brings us to the first reading of policy 4332, universal pre-K. When the district operates universal pre-K.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
So this is something that we are putting forth that's new. It does not apply to us at the moment because as of right now, we have more spots than there are students for our UPK program, but we needed to have something in place in case we ever are in the position, like if funding happens to disappear and we have to do a lottery.
This is what you, I think, Steph had asked.
So we just wanted to make sure we covered bases if that ever happened. We are not in that position right now, but in case that happened, we wanted to make sure that we had something set in place for how that process works.
Okay, so we'll bring that one back to next week, 2 weeks, May 20th, the next board meeting. This is the first reading on Internet Safety 4526.1. The Board of Education is committed to undertaking efforts that serve to make.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor?
This is pretty straightforward in terms of what is prohibited on district devices and district internet.
Yes, social networking sites. I mean, I honestly, I think we're under beneath the left, but I think we're doing most of this already, but now it
There's
is
a lot of tracking.
set into policy.
So this is a lot of talking about restrictions that there will be, and it does go into, I believe, it's cross-referenced with other policies as to what will then take place if this is breached.
Okay, isn't that one back? This is the first reading, policy 4525.1R, Internet Safety Regulation. The following rules and regulations.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor?
This has a lot of definitions to define what was just in the policy as you saw.
Right, this
How to
one-
report the
this is
violation,
everything.
training for staff and students. So this kind of just lays out everything that was just in that policy.
Okay, then the next one is the first reading policy 4282, concussion management guidelines and procedures in the Hendrick Hudson.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor? This one did change, and you can see all the red.
There's a lot of just updates. The last time it was
Updates.
Yeah, 2012 was the last time this
Update
was
the
updated.
protocols.
So this was just updating protocols as to, especially because this is becoming, unfortunately, like more prevalent.
Yes.
So just how this is handled, what it looks like, and what actions are to be taken from there.
It's specifically the cross-reference and why this all changed is the NYSED guideline. So the New York State Education Department guidelines for concussion management actually changed in 2023. So we are updating it to catch us up there.
Yeah, before it used to just be 7 days, now it's based on the individual after they are identified to be cleared to come back to play. Just a lot more, I guess we're just more aware of everything else.
We also added to the concussion management team. Okay, bring that one back. And the last one of the night is the first reading policy 8113, extreme heat condition days. As required by education.
Motion to waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, so this is a new policy. I don't think it technically goes, when does this
September
technically go
1st,
into effect?
2025.
So it doesn't technically go into effect until
Well,
next September? I mean,
Well, Hochul said it had to be in place for September 1st, 2025. We were looking at, so you'll notice that the degrees changed. So it is, and it just, and if you reach there, it's not necessarily an immediate dismissal of school. It is finding other, and this is not coming from us. This is coming from Governor Hochul, who set these guidelines. We just put them into our policy. So it's not necessarily a closed school. because you don't want to have as much interrupted instruction. So it's finding a location that would have, first you go turning off the lights, turning on the fans, and then it's having locations where there would be air circulating so that it's not at 82 degrees.
So is it 82 degrees that you could send kids home, or is it 88?
No, 82 is when you have, 82 is when you have, this is what you're expected to do first.
Right, and then 82,
All of these things.
or 88 is?
88, it's, then if you'll notice, look at where it says actions to be taken, that's what I'm saying, it's not an immediate close school, it's first move students and staff to cooler locations.
Yes, don't send my
So
kid.
they're not, that's, and I think that was Governor Hochul's whole part,
Right.
is that it was not to send, like, the first step should not be sending students home, it's, you know, making use of your space. So if this cafeteria is cooler, then maybe you do locations and rotate around.
They're gonna rotate.
We're gonna have to be creative in that sense. I mean, we're hoping we are not in these situations, and part of our capital project is to mitigate some of this and add some air
Some of it.
conditioning to our schools. And that will be something that we will continue to look at, especially with these changing climate and these rules that are being put in place.
I think, if I remember correctly last year, and I think Mike mentioned it at one of the board meetings last year, about how each of the principals has a plan for their buildings, what happens on really hot days.
Yeah, and if you look at
And
the
it's
other
sort of outlined
considerations,
in
it's
here.
outlined here, right? Identify the hot spots and don't use them.
Right.
If you're going to gym class, don't have them running around.
The unfortunate part is that it interrupts instruction.
It does.
It does.
But less than sending them home.
Agreed. So I'm glad that we have this in a plan outlined now. Okay.
And we are hoping to combat that with some of our plans and our facilities.
Yes. Okay, so next is committee reports, and I'm just gonna, I wanna start first by saying happy birthday to Tamika Oligada. We hope you got to celebrate, and you're very lucky it was on a Wednesday and we did not have a board meeting.
Yes.
That was her birthday wish.
So that was last week, so happy birthday.
It was planned by.
I wanna take,
25 years ago.
I just wanna, I'm gonna make a statement just on behalf of the board, quickly, because this could have been a new business, and I'm sorry that I didn't put it there, but it'll be in a committee report. So, May is a busy month full of days of appreciation to honor so many of our professionals. On behalf of the Board of Education, I want to take a moment to extend our sincere gratitude. To all of our incredible teachers during Teacher Appreciation Week, thank you for the passion, creativity, and patience you bring into your classrooms each day. The impact you have on your students lasts far beyond the school year, and we are grateful for your dedication. And today is Nurse Appreciation Day, as Margaret mentioned. You are the unsung heroes of our schools. Thank you for taking such good care of our students' health day in and day out. May 1st was Principal Appreciation Day, and we would also like to take a moment to thank our dedicated principals for their steady leadership, commitment, and the care they show every day in guiding our schools and supporting our students and staff. From the classrooms to the cafeteria, from our offices to our buses, every role matters at Hendrick Hudson, and every one of you plays a vital part in creating a safe, supportive, and inspiring environment for our students to thrive. I also really want to take a moment to thank our amazing PTAs for they always make sure every year that our staff feels seen, supported, and appreciated through the week. And your efforts make a big difference in making that go a long way. So thank you to our PTAs. Anyway, I just wanted to take a moment to speak to that. It's a big week. I have a list. Committee report-wise, I don't know if we have anything specific. I don't. I just wanted to remind everyone that next week is Blue Mountain Middle School Career Day on the 19th of May. That's usually a big day there.
So that's not next week.
May 19th.
May 19th.
I'm so, no, it's May 19th.
my,
It's May 19th. And then I wanted to wish the Blue Mountain Band, I think the band is going to Music in the Parks next week or tomorrow. They're going tomorrow, I think.
Friday.
Friday?
Music in the Parks?
The 9th. They're going the 9th.
Friday.
So good luck to them.
Also,
Yeah.
middle school chorus concert is next Tuesday.
And then there's another one on Thursday. The middle school will be very busy.
Yeah.
Every day on the calendar is middle school.
They're doing NISMA on Saturday.
But that's all. That's K. That's like whoever participates from it.
Correct. All the people.
And that's the whole calendar.
All the musicians and. New York.
Did I miss anything? I know Chris Marino mentioned it, but May 21st is the next SEPTA meeting, and that will be, they moved it. It was supposed to be next Wednesday, the 14th. It is now the 21st because of the forum. That will be kind of like a fair, as he was mentioning. So it's going to have a lot of different professionals and individuals. So it would be a really great place for people to come out and see, like guidance counselors, like all the different people that can support our students and who can advocate for their students. Right.
It's the same day as our, you said the 20th, but isn't it the 25th?
It's the 20th. Our meeting is the 20th.
Our meeting is the Tuesday?
Yes, we're the Tuesday, they're the Wednesday.
Oh, good, because I wanted to actually go to the Saturday.
Oh, that's right. It's always Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I did not move that on my calendar. I have it on Tuesday and Wednesday.
You have it because we have a board meeting Wednesday as well.
They're
at 11 or 12
Yeah,
o'clock.
I put my own, so my family
Understood.
knows also that I'm going, and I didn't move it, so.
Okay. Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Wow.
Second.
All in favor?